Back in 2019, Nord released their flagship stage piano, the E.Grand. Equipped with a premium Kawai hammer action keyboard, a striking cabinet design with a sloping front panel, and some of the best piano sounds in a hardware instrument, the E.Grand quickly became known as the stage piano against which all others were judged. Since then, Nord has launched some great keyboards, including the Piano 5 and the Stage 4, and it really felt like it was time for the Grand to have a refresh. And here it is, the beautiful E.Grand 2. Including some of the best hardware features and technology from Nord's latest keyboards, Grand 2 once again sets the benchmark for premium stage and studio pianos. I'm Tony from Bonner's Music, and this is my full buyer's guide and demonstration of this fabulous new instrument. The E.Grand 2 is the second generation flagship stage piano from the Swedish manufacturer, and it has several improvements over the original model. Firstly, the new instrument has 4 sound generators, that's 2 piano parts and 2 synth parts, and this allows you to layer or split up to 4 sounds in combination at the same time. To complement the double number of layers, the Grand 2 also has double the amount of sample memory at 2 GB for the piano section and 1 GB for the sample sections. This is where you can download and install additional sounds from the nordkeyboards.com website, and more of which I'm going to explain later. You'll also notice the Grand 2 is fitted with the same volume sliders that we've already seen on the Wave 2 and Stage 4 keyboards. But another big improvement is in the keybed, or rather the construction of the keybed. So Grand 2 uses a modified version of the Kawai responsive Hammer 3 keyboard action, but the keybed itself has been updated by Kawai with improved damping for reduced mechanical noise and an improved feel overall. It still uses the same mechanical construction and keybed model as on the E.Grand in other respects. But Nord has also modified the Grand 2 chassis for improved damping, and they've added components to stabilise the construction. Nord tells me that these changes were made to reduce mechanical noise and improve the bottom of the key travel feel, and to make the playing experience even more pleasant overall. There is, of course, no better way to experience the touch and the feel of a new piano than to come to a shop and test drive it for yourself. So you can see and try the Grand 2 in any of the Bonner's stores, and we have 3 showrooms which are located on the south coast in Eastbourne, Reigate in Surrey, which is just 2 miles from junction 8 of the M25 motorway, and in Milton Keynes, which is within easy reach of the M1 and the A5 main roads. All our stores are located out of town and have plenty of on-site parking. Just give us a call first to check the keyboard you want to see is available in your local store. If you own an older keyboard that you're considering upgrading to a E.Grand 2, you could also take advantage of the Bonner's part exchange scheme and save yourself the hassle of selling on the private market. We accept most major brands of keyboards that are under 7 years old, as long as they're in good condition and full working order. So click the link on our website to complete our easy online trade-in form, and we'll get back to you with valuation. As the Grand 2 is primarily a piano-based instrument, I thought it would be good to give you a quick demo of a selection of the onboard acoustic piano voices that are installed right out of the box. There's a choice of 8 grand and 8 upright pianos, and they're all sampled from acoustic instruments made by Steinway, Yamaha, Bosendorfer, Bluthner, Grotrian, Steinweg, Petroff, Baldwin and Nordiska. If you hold down the shift button and press the unison button at the same time, it gives you more information on the screen about the actual piano sample that's being used, and even tells you the name of the piano that they sampled. So here's a quick overview of the basic principles of how the Grand 2 works and how to set up your own programs. If you haven't used a Nord instrument before, you could be forgiven for being overwhelmed by the number of buttons and controls on the front panel. But to me, that's the beauty and the advantage of a Nord keyboard, that everything is available on hand to allow you complete control of the sound and functions when playing live. And there's minimal need to dive into the menus on the display screen. The panel is laid out intuitively, starting with the two sound generator sections on the left. One is for the piano and the other one is for the synth sounds. Now, each of the sound sections can produce 2 layers of sound, and each of the layers can be switched on and off independently using the 2 grey buttons within the section. The keyboard can be split so you can have different sounds in each of the upper and the lower sections, and as with most Nord keyboards, the split point can either be fixed rigidly at one note, or you can apply crossfades so that there's a smooth transition between the upper and the lower sound layers. Each layer has its own volume slider and octave shift buttons, and the sustain pedal functionality can be switched on and off independently for each layer. These rotary encoders allow you to select the sound that's going to be applied to each layer, and then using the controls on the right you can apply effects to the selected layer. Each layer can have up to 5 individual effects, including 2 types of modulation, compression, amp simulator, EQ and delay, and there's also a master reverb to give that polished studio sound. Once you've perfected your sound, you can give it a name and save it as what's called a program using the red store button in the centre of the panel. There are 432 locations into which you can store your sounds, so there's ample room even for the busiest gigging musician. Nord has filled up about half of these with factory presets of popular sound combinations to get you started, but all of them can be overwritten with your own sounds. Having 4 independent layers of sound means you can really get creative with your own programming. So I've put together this quick patch that uses 4 layers and a keyboard split with a crossfade to give you an idea of what can be achieved with a very simple selection of sounds. So I'm just going to start off with a single piano sound on layer A of the piano section, and if I hold down shift and press unison, it tells me which piano sample I'm using, and I'm actually using the Yamaha C7 version 2. And this is actually my go-to piano sample when I use a Nord keyboard live on stage, because it's got a little bit of edge to it, but it's very, very warm and it sounds great through a PA system. So it's something like this. Now that's just the raw piano sound with no effects apart from just a little bit of reverb which I've got switched on there. Now what I like to do is to add a bit of EQ because it just brightens the sound, helps it cut through the mix a little bit, so just add a little bit of treble EQ there, and you'll notice at the top a little bit brighter and more sparkly. So as you could hear, I've got the piano sound going across the whole keyboard. Now I'm going to switch on the first layer of the synth part, and at the moment the volume's down low, so let's just bring the volume up on that, and I've got a really beautiful string sound on there, and that's the new Spitfire string quintet, but it's the soft legato and it's absolutely lovely. So let's just play 2 notes, bring that sound in. That really is one of the very best string samples I've ever heard in any keyboard. Now, this new Spitfire string quintet was only released about a month ago by Nord, and if you check out, I've made another demo video which goes more in depth on those string sounds, so check it out because it really is fabulous to play. But I've got that layered with the piano voice, but what I've done is I've put a split point in, and I'm using the crossfade, so the strings are only in the lower half of the keyboard. but they gradually fade out and then the piano takes over at the top. And I find that just enables the piano to sing out a little bit better. So something like this. So I've also got a synth pad sound ready to go on layer 2 of the synth section. So if I press both of those together, it switches both layers on the synth section, and then I can bring the synth pad in as well. Just gives it a little bit more warmth. And then finally, I've got a digital piano sound on layer 2 of the piano section. Let's just turn off the synth section quickly and I'll bring up the volume of that digital piano sound. Great for playing sort of 80s ballad tunes, but really nice sound. Let's bring the synth pad back in. So as I said, there are about 200 factory presets. So I've put together a quick demo of a few of the most commonly used sounds to give you a flavour of what's possible with the Grand 2. It's always very important to remember with Nord keyboards that the manufacturer makes a huge range of additional samples and sounds available to download free of charge from the Nord keyboards website. All you need to do is visit the site, download the sound, connect your keyboard via a USB cable and transfer it using the Nord Sound Manager software, more of which I'll explain later in this video. Let's now take a look at the back panel of the Grand 2 and explore the connections that are available to you. There are two audio outputs, left and right, on unbalanced 1/4" jacks. There's also a mini jack input for connecting devices such as smartphones, tablets or computers to the Nord Grand 2, and this is useful for playing and rehearsing to pre-recorded music or a metronome, or to use as an additional sound source on stage. The monitor in signal is routed to the headphones and left and right outputs. There are 3 foot pedal inputs, one for a standard sustain pedal, one for a foot controller like the Yamaha FC7 or Hammond EXP50, and there's a 5-pin DIN connector to attach the triple pedal to, which is also included in the box with the Grand 2. And there's also a set of standard MIDI in and out sockets for connection to other MIDI equipped devices. Finally, there's a USB port for connection to your computer, which leads me nicely onto the software apps that can be downloaded free of charge to help you organise your sounds and samples within your Nord keyboard. The Nord Sound Manager software makes it easy to organise and back up the memory of your Nord instrument. You can copy and paste and rename your programs and arrange them in any order you like in preparation for live performances and gigs. From Sound Manager version 9 onwards, you can access the Nord piano and sample libraries online from within the software. This means you can download sounds and samples from the Nord sound libraries and directly transfer them to your Nord instrument, or save them for offline use later on. The Nord Sample Editor 4 makes it easy to create custom sampled instruments for your Nord keyboard. The new version 4 allows recording directly in the app and smart auto mapping of samples to keys for quick workflow. You can also drag and drop audio files into the software, which then automatically maps them to keys using pitch detection. The Sample Editor also offers simple looping, and samples can be instantly transferred to your Nord instrument. Nord offers a range of accessories to complement your Grand 2, including a padded carry case with wheels, a metal music stand, a keyboard stand with 4 legs for maximum stability, and a set of monitor speakers that can be mounted on top of the piano for use at home or in your studio. Bonner's Music offers various packages with different configurations of accessories, which can be purchased to ensure that you've got everything you need to start enjoying your Nord Grand 2 as soon as you receive it. That brings me to the end of my Nord Grand 2 buyer's guide, and as you can see and hear, this is an instrument that's truly worthy of the flagship label. The Kawai keybed is a joy to play, and the huge range of high quality piano samples available to install free of charge from the Nord website makes this a real open-ended instrument that should satisfy your musical demands for years to come. At 21 kilograms, it's not the lightest stage piano on the market, but all the pianos with the best quality keyboard actions will be the heaviest in terms of weight. Now, Nord Grand 2 really does set the standard for other manufacturers to follow, and I would urge you to come to a Bonner's store and experience it for yourself whenever you can. As always, if you have any questions about choosing the right stage piano for your needs, or you would like to test the latest models from all the top manufacturers, then please give me or any of the team at Bonner's a call, and we're here to help you make the right decision.